Hello, Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the first of the 2019 season podcast here for GTHub. Once again, I am Forzar18, absent one member, but gaining another guest for this show, and that would be in the form of one formidable.
Woo!
Hello, everyone.
New voice for you to get used to. And of course, the familiar once again coming in the form of our resident pigeon.
A very sick pigeon, but yes, I am here.
Slightly ill pigeon, but even slightly ill, still better.
I need to go to the vet.
Please don't be put down. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not going to Peter, it's fine.
Ah, fair enough. That's well done. Nicely presented, that one. Well, in today's hopefully slightly brief show. I say slightly brief because I don't want Rob to come joining in halfway through. We'll have testing news from Daytona and also a preview of the Dubai 24 Hours this weekend. And that'll be the first proper endurance race of the season, so that's good to hear. Without further ado, we'll actually get to the first bit of IMSA news, which is the crowning the first winner of the 2019 IMSA season and capping off its 50th anniversary season. That goes to the 3 Hour Scouts of America Prototype Challenge race, and that would be the number 4 AMSA Motorsports Ligier JSP3 of Leo Lamelas and Neil Alberico. So they are the first winners in 2019 for IMSA. And AMSA Motorsports claimed their second consecutive win, as they won last year. Oddly enough, the second place finisher was the 47 Motorsports guys as well. So and there's that. So we will move to what was the first test? Is that Friday or Thursday? No, it was Friday, wasn't it?
Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Friday we had, well, actually, pretty much for like the rest of the timing, was Mazda basically on top, which is actually really nice to hear for once. That being the 77 Mazda Team Yost entry of Oliver Jarvis, Tristan Nunez, Timo Bernard, and Rene Rast. Our resident not pigeon, but our resident other bird in Pensa would be very happy with the fact that the number 10 was the second fastest on day 1, with the number 10 Koenig Minolta Cadillac. For Renger van de Zande, Jordan Taylor, one Fred Alonso, whoever that guy is, and
There he is.
And Kamui Kobayashi, yeah, whoever that guy is as well. Yeah. Relatively unknown drivers making a name for themselves. Quite odd.
Good to see. Good to see.
Good to see. Yeah, promoting talent with
nice to bring a rookie into the series.
Very talented rookie at that. We also had the other Mazda finishing third, so it was a Mazda podium sandwich, once first and third. The Cadillacs were fourth and fifth, with the Action Express guys. Well, also sixth and seventh were the debuting Cadillac DPIs for Juncos Racing and the JDC Miller Motorsports guys. Acura Team Penske with Elio Castroneves, Ricky Taylor, and your boy Rossi was 8th and 10th. So the core guys didn't even go out on the very first session. So very teething problems with that car, considering they had barely got it delivered in late December, I think. So there's that. Let's see. In the second session, we had Mazda once again on top. I think it was Mazda on top. Anyway, I looked at my result. No, actually, I lie. It was a 10.
Two.
Session 2, yeah.
Yeah. The Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac was on top for, I think it was only session 2, and then session 7, I believe it was Core Autosport. But other than that, I think Mazda pretty much took the top for like the rest of the sessions to follow.
Basically, yes. It was Mazda's show from basically all of the roar, really, which can't really say much for the first season. But that's good to see. Session 2 was indeed led by the Cadillac, the number 10, which was basically the only car to challenge the Mazdas at the top of the time chart for any stretch of the imagination. It's nice to see Alonso and Kobayashi getting nicely bedded into their team for the Rolex 24. Funny enough, there was actually a picture that came out with them bonding with Fonzie, so they're already nicely indoctrinated into that team. And for you don't know, that Fonzie is Jordan Taylor's dog. Yeah.
Good boy.
I actually saw him there.
Oh, did you really?
Yes. I think I don't know who was walking him around, but it wasn't Jordan. It was like, I think one of the crew members on Wayne Taylor Racing.
It's probably either one of the crew members. They drew the short straw there.
Mm.
Here, go walk Fonzie. Oh, okay. Let's see, session 3 was another Mazda session. Session 4 as well, session 5.
In terms of
go on.
In terms of Core Autosport, it kind of looks like on the session results, with the different drivers swapping in and out, they were kind of all over the place on the leaderboard, which is interesting.
Well, I'm not surprised, but because they barely got that car.
Yeah.
They did have the best time the final session, though, so there's that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because they were ranging from like high 136s, and then they got down to like 135s at certain points.
Uh, 130s, well, 135, 136s, yeah. What was their best time? It was a 134, I think. 135, 176. So yeah.
Yeah.
Their best time was even not actually the quickest of the sessions. So, but even then, Mazda was still right behind them. So yeah.
And I believe actually Mazda broke the unofficial Rolex 24 record lap time by 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second here.
I'm sorry, I kind of skipped ahead.
No, it's fine. I was just going to do the qualifying the way it happened, because the rule changes for this season saw the GTD guys limited to 2 days of testing for the season. So that meant they were running their qualifying session on Saturday, as opposed to running it all on the same day with everyone else. So we saw the GTD guys running on Saturday, and the GTLM, LMP2, and EPI, that's the class I was thinking of, running on the Sunday. Which saw the fastest of the GTD runners being the newly numbered and newly reliveried and newly formed team of Heinricher Racing and Meyer Schenk Racing with Kurb Agajanian And new cars, everything new for this year with the first of the Shank Acuras. And that being, of course, the lineup of Catherine Legg, Simone Di Silvestro, Anna Beatrice, and Christina Nielsen. Nielsen being drafted in at short notice to replace Jackie Heinricher, who had a back injury, so she's sitting out both the Roar and the Rolex 24, but she'll be in for the rest of the season. So hopefully Christina can do well, so she'll get herself a full season ride with someone for this season.
Yeah.
But not the... But the 57 was actually first for the GTD class with a 1:45.537. The fastest actually was not the 57, but that was the number 71 P1 Motorsports Mercedes. However, because qualifying this year can only be done by a bronze or a silver driver, they went out and put in Maxi Book. So that's, or was it Dominic Bauman? It was either Bauman or Maxi Book, and did their fastest laps, and they were the fastest, but they lost all their times because, well, they didn't use their silver or bronze driver. So that moved everyone else up as a result of that. And as a result of the 57 was first. And second was the number 12, Aim Vaster Sullivan Lexus, which is another new program for this year. For Frankie Montecalvo, Townsend Bell, Aaron Tielitz, and Jeff Siegel. Third was the other Schenck Acura, the 86, for Mario Farnbacher, Trent Hinman, Justin Marks, and AJ Allmendinger, who coincidentally also has a new gig for NBC for the rest of the season.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was announced as part of the NBC crew for its IMSA coverage this season, alongside Lee Diffie and Calvin Fish. So there's that. And also we had the very lovely livery number 33, the oh-so-retro...
The purple boy.
Well, purple, yellow, red, white, yeah. All colors of the rainbow there on that car.
Yeah, unfortunately, those sweet BBS style rims are not. They're just for show, because they'll at least they'll keep them around the paddock. But once they roll out to pit lane, they change to the regular black AMG rims, which is a little disappointing, but you know.
Yeah, it's only transport wheels, I guess. Although I did notice they rolled out of their garage on them every day, so that's kind of...
Yeah, I think they changed the wheels in pit lane before they went out.
Sad. Should at least do an installation lap on them. Come back in. That way you get the photos of the gold rims.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure some of the IMSA photographers did a follow around lap with the camera car, hopefully, with the rims on.
It would be a shame for them to not have that retro livery and not have that on there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. That was GTD, that was Saturday. And like we mentioned already, Mazda was already pretty much fastest for all sessions, so the Sunday came around, which was the final day for the Roar testing. And we had the oh-so-fast and brilliant Mazda RT24P of the 77 for Oliver Jarvis. And Mazda Team Yost beat the, 25? I want to say 25-year-old record for the PJ Jones-driven Toyota Mark III Eagle.
Yeah.
Oh, so wonderful car that was. It's finally 25 years on. I think it's the right number. It's either 23 to 25.
It's about a quarter of a century. Put it that
Basically, yeah. Pigeon doing the math there. Thank you. Basically, that's how long it stood. And we have the brand new Michelin tires that are very grippy. The improved aero for the DPI cars. It's going to be pretty fun to see because it easily broke the track record. Both Mazdas, actually, because the 77 did a 33.398 and the 55 did a 33.423, so handily beating the record. And this wasn't an official session, so it doesn't actually stand. But with the pace that they're showing pretty much throughout the whole field, every class broke their existing track records. So come actual qualifying for the Rolex 24, times are going to be pretty quick if the weather holds off.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting that they were 8/10 faster than the Acura P3. 8/10 from second to third.
Yeah, that's
unheard of in India.
Well, hopefully they don't reel them in so much, but I don't think that they will, considering that Mazda were doing basically what IMSA told them, and that was, hey, run flat out. So that's good. But that's not actually even to say that the Acuras are being slow, because they were kind of off pace at the beginning of the week, but they kind of, were running to a program as you do in testing. So at the end, when it actually counted, they came to the front, and that was the 7 for Elio Castroneves, Ricky Taylor, and of course, your boy Rossi again, who was third with the first of the Acura Team Penske DPIs. The first Cadillac was the number 5. That, of course, being the Mustang sampling car for Joao Barbosa, Mike Conway, Felipe Albuquerque, and Christian Fittipaldi. The retirement mobile, if you will, of that lineup. The number 31 Whelen Cadillac for Felipe Nasr, Pipo Derani, and Eric Curran was 5th. The 10 was the next Cadillac, and 7th was the Montoya Cameron and Pagano Acura. The debuting teams for Juncos and JDC Miller were 8th, 9th, and 10th. The first LMP2 was the local hometown team for me. That being the number 52 PR1 Matheson Motorsports Orca of Matt McMurray, Gabriel Aubry, and Mark Fame. So they set a fastest lap over 1:35.930 for that car. The second best LMP2 was the not Core. I'm so used to them being an LMP2. I saw them and went, oh, they're an LMP2. No, the next best LMP2 was the Dragon Speed effort, the 81 and the 18. They were second and third, and the last LMP2 was the 38. So they were all grouped together in the leaderboard. And we also have the fastest in GTLM, that being the very lovely Velocity Yellow Corvette C7R for the defending champions of Jan Magnussen, Antonio Garcia, and the additional might of Mike Rockenfeller. For them, they had the fastest lap of a 1:42.651, courtesy of their drafting partners in the number 4, who finished all the way back in 8th on the time charts because they were being drafting partners. And second and third in GTLM, it was the Ford Chip Ganassi Racing duo of the 67 leading the 66, Richard Westbrook, Ryan Briscoe, and Scott Dixon, and also Joey Hand, Dirk Miller, and Sebastian Bourdais. For that one, the Porsches ran tandem with the 912 leading the 911. The Risi Competizione Ferrari, the lone Ferrari in GTLM, was 6th for GTLM with Davide Rigon and Miguel Molina in the lineup there. The other two drivers will show up for the Rolex itself. For the Rolex themselves, they'll show up, but that'll be an all Ferrari Pro lineup for the Ferrari guys. The 24 and 25 BMW being sandwiched by the number 4 there, and of course the notable fastest BMW just so happened to have Alex Zanardi in it, so that's pretty good for them. But the BMW's brought up the bottom of the timesheets there for the G. Which is kind of just a bit sad, but it's testing, so you can't read too much into the results there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We also had the Michelin Pilot Challenge guys running out there, which were known last year as the Continental Tire Challenge. And, well, the new car for them, the new car for Porsche, the Cayman GT4, whatever it's called, GT4 Club Sport MR, whatever the long name is. No, actually, it's the 718 Cayman. Yeah, that's what it is.
Porsche Cayman 718, or the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 Club Sport.
Yeah, and then tack on MR if you want to.
MR, yes.
Yes. Can't forget about the Manti racing bit of that car. But that car was, I think they debuted it on Thursday before the session, or the Friday before the session rather, and it was,
yeah, they were literally unveiled right there.
Yeah, all the IMSA cars were the first ones to be handed over in a nice handing over ceremony in the press suites there. I think there was, 8 on site? 8 or 9?
About, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. All nicely liveried and everything. Probably the best customer handout there for them. But they were quickest of the weekend there in the hands of the oh-so-lovely liveried Volt Racing guys. For Alan Brynjolfsson and Trent Hindman. That being operated by Park Place Motorsports this year, so they're doubling up their effort in IMSA. Nice to see them back full-time with some efforts. We had a Mustang in second, and another Porsche, and a Mercedes, and another Porsche, and the first Camaro was the 71. And I think the lone... No, I tell a lie. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 BMWs? 3. No, 3 BMWs in Michelin Pilot Challenge for the test this weekend. There's probably more, because unlike the main WeatherTech series, the Michelin Pilot guys don't have to be there for the tests, so... We'll see how many BMWs we have just this weekend, but if the entry list this weekend is anything to go by, we're going to have a slew of Caymans running around at the front, along with the Mustangs. Still not as many Audis as there should be, because those things look pretty good. Still not the best GT4 car. That of course, goes to the Mustang. Because that looks great.
Plus, it sounds really good.
Yeah, I have not heard the GT4 guys yet running around with their actually no, wait, no, were they at the 8 hours? No, they weren't at the 8 hours. So that's not the case. However, moving past that, there were some news from IMSA themselves concerning their coverage for the season. Like I mentioned earlier with AJ Allmendinger, they had the NBC Sports lineup announced. Further analysts and pit reporters for them have yet to be announced. The IMSA radio guys have bagged 2 big names for them, though. If Rob was on, he would know more, I think. But we have the addition of Brian Till and Jamie Howe to join IMSA Radio and their commentary team of Shea Adam, Jeremy Shaw, and John Hindhaugh. And that was on the IMSA front for that one. And I'm trying to think if there was more news broken, actually, over the weekend.
Somebody's
cat there in the
Can you hear that?
Yes. I thought it was your chair squeaking.
No. Oh dear.
Pruitt has been named the Rolex 24 Grand Marshal for this year.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. So he keeps his streak of being at Daytona there. Yeah.
He better say hi to my family at home.
That would be the best starting grid ever, actually. Just be like, start your engines and hello to my family at home. Yeah. Yeah, let's see here. They had that. They also had the Porsche... Some Porsche Junior contract announced, I think.
Let's see.
It was a Hurley Haywood development contract for GT3 Challenge. What was I can't remember the name or the driver actually who was awarded it, but they had their contract given to them this weekend as well. So lots of IMSA related news was dropped for that kind of
Oh yeah, I think the day I was there in the second Michelin Pilot Challenge session that they had on Saturday, the LA Honda World Honda TCR got thrown out of the Roar due to a minimum weight violation.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I saw a picture on Twitter of the hauler exiting the track and everything. It was interesting to say the least.
It wasn't to their own fault though. It was just that it was a miscommunication in weight, I believe, is what it was. So that's why they were thrown out. Because they didn't catch it before they went out on track, so that's why they ran with the incorrect weight on it.
Mm-hmm.
But they were okay at the end there, so... It's not like they don't know what they're doing, so it's just an innocent mistake on their part.
Yeah, and Wayne Taylor Racing actually thought they could get Alonso and Kobayashi in for the 12 Hours of Sebring as well, but there's some schedule clash or just some like general clash that the Fernando and Kobayashi cannot attend that race.
They're pretty busy that weekend.
Yeah,
I'm not sure you'd want to attempt the double there, because that's 1,000 miles of racing on the day before a 12-hour. That's, yeah. I know drivers are pretty fit, but, yeah.
That's true endurance racing, that is.
That would be the Sebring 24 hours, that, yeah. I'm not sure you want to attempt that. I think there might be some marketing differences there as well, because commitments of Toyota, I think, might be in their way there.
And there's some rumors, some talk in the paddock that DPI manufacturer interest is building up for next year and maybe the years to come from We heard about the rumor of Hyundai wanting to
Hyundai, yeah.
Hyundai wanting to having or for DPI being an option for them if they want to further themselves into motorsports, which is really good. And apparently there was another like mid-volume manufacturer in Japan that had interest. Most people are theorizing that it might be Subaru.
Well, I mean, there's not really many mid-level Japanese manufacturers, because it could have been Lexus, but they've already said earlier that 2020 is not happening. So, and then Suzuki's not happening because, well, they're not in the US anymore. Some people were saying Mitsubishi, but that's extremely unlikely thanks to, well, it being Mitsubishi. So, there's only so many names that you can pull out of a hat and go, well, they work. No, they don't work. Well, this one might work. Well, that one doesn't work. Yeah. Subaru does have a history, though, with IMSA. Well, / Grand Am. Well, I don't know. Do we count Grand Am history
with American sports car racing?
Let's go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
That works because they had the, of course, the WRX STI, the previous gen car running in Continental Tire Challenge. So and that had Subaru America money behind it. So they have a history with the series, technically. So that would be interesting to see, but I don't know if it's if it is happening. But if it is, I suspect it'll be like the on-road Nissan relationship, where it's kind of a customer-driven thing.
Yeah. Speaking of customer-driven, this isn't really... It's not that big a news, nor is it really surprising, but Acura isn't really open to a customer program for their DPI, so it looks like their ties with Penske are pretty much remaining throughout their participation in IMSA. So,
well, they have a 3-year contract with Penske for exclusivity. So even if they wanted to sell customer cars, they'd have to wait another year. So
yeah. GTD slowdown possible for the Rolex 24 because, all those GT3 Evo versions came out this year, and they might be catching up a little too quick to the GTLM class.
I think it's more along the lines of them being difficult to pass, actually.
Yeah, especially because really GTLM just has really, I think, more advantage with maybe mechanical grip, because the GTDs are around as quick in a straight line.
Yeah, the GT3s are sometimes even faster in a straight line. They're just slow in the corners.
I don't think at this point they're going to slow them down, but I think if we see qualifying times being a bit quicker than some GTLM cars, we might see a slowdown. But it just depends, really. I don't think we're at that stage yet where they're going to start worrying about it too much.
Yeah, although it is inevitable that, we've seen it happen time and time again where the lower class will just get, it'll get so advanced, and so, I guess, the cars will get so powerful where it almost is hard to draw a line between the classes. So,
well, they really only have one option. They have to either let it go the way that it is, or they turn down the GTD cars because they can't exactly move the GTLM cars up because there's a performance window that they're stuck in.
Yeah.
With the ACO because they can't touch it. So yeah. So either the GTD cars slow down or they just leave it as is. But they should be okay, I think. For now, we'll see where they are when race pace comes around because that's when they actually see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So those Michelin tires are pretty good, though. So yeah,
they really are. Yeah, we don't want to see a repeat of Road Atlanta. I don't remember which year it was, but I was still fascinated by when it rained out, and the GTLM cars were going faster on wet tires than the prototypes were, which was pretty hilarious.
Those Michelin... Nah, that's another thing. If it rains, the Michelin wets actually might be... They still might be quick enough to beat record times, I think, because they're just that kind of good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Penske doesn't pay anyone money, actually. Pensa, that's... You'll just find that Penske doesn't do contracts unless they get an advantage out of said thing. They will have a 3-year exclusivity contract with Acura, but I think Honda and Acura are kind of smart enough to realize we don't really need more cars if we have Penske in our fold. Yeah, kind of thing.
Can't go wrong with Penske.
Well, it's very much how Penske had the three Porsche factory cars when they had the RS Spider program. Sure, there were other ones, but Porsche kind of never really had as much money involved in the other cars. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's just kind of how that goes. It'd be the same way if Andretti showed up in sports car racing, really. They'd have some kind of contract that they got the best of the best, but that's just what you do if you can get it. So, it's not exclusive to them.
Yeah.
Fin speed wheels. What are fin speed wheels? Being corrected on what kind of wheels were on the 33.
Is you talking about the rims that they had?
Yeah.
On Transport.
Actually, they do have a picture of the car running on it in track with the wheels, so never mind. That's been fulfilled. According to IMSA, there's a picture from Jerome Bleakmullen with that, so cool. That box has been checked already then, so...
That car does look good, though.
It does really much. That livery's staying for the full season as well, because that's a sponsorship. Yeah. That's another thing, actually, that was announced over the weekend. That Wins is actually paying them to be on the car for the full season. So that retro livery will stay. On the retro livery front, though, there's speculation that Core is going to run a retro livery. What? We don't know. Hopefully it's the Nissan GTP colors, please.
Oh, yeah. That'd be sick.
Ooh.
On an actual front-running prototype, yeah. Unlike the GTR LM.
We do not talk about that.
Well, it had to be mentioned, that's why I went. Yeah. A properly run program, unlike that thing. The Porsches are coming with some sort of retro livery as well. That's what has been told.
Retro livery, all the things.
Which ones they're going to use, I don't know, because they've already ran the Champion Racing ones, so hopefully it's another grab bag of liveries. Although I wouldn't object to having proper Champion liveries under the lights again, because that would be pretty special.
I would guess maybe some like 962 inspired liveries.
Ooh, could we have a Leighton House livery? That would be great.
Yeah, I'd love that. Because I did see a Leighton House 962 at the Classic 24 last year. 2 of them, actually.
Those are some great colors, the Leighton House colors, yeah. That specific turquoise or whatever it is. Is it turquoise or is it a...
It's like a teal turquoise, kind of in that area.
It looks great on that 962, though. What other livery could they? Well, I guess they could. No, they can't run the Wins colors because that's already taken by the Mercedes. Anyway, insert your livery here in the comments, I guess. Whichever ones you want to see. But there's hopefully going to be a bunch of retro liveries running in 3 weeks' time at the Rolex 24. And probably the Michelin Pilot Challenge. Yeah, who knows, really. However, if the Ferrari really wanted to be retro, they would have just the red with the gold rims. That would be great. Because, Risi had their 333 SPs with them, and they looked spectacular when they had them that way. So, I'll just leave that there. But moving past IMSA, we'll go to Dubai now. For what is for all intents and purposes, the first endurance race of the year, actually. And first 24-hour race of the year. And, one of only 2 good Creventic races, if we're brutally honest.
Hang on. A good Creventic race? Does that exist?
Yeah, it's called Dubai. Well, and Coda. The Coda 24 hours is actually really... I think that earned its place on the calendar. That's pretty special, actually.
Yeah, it is.
If they could only get around that pesky noise limit, then that event would be something special, actually. Because seeing them run from sunrise, literally actually sunrise to sunset into the dark is pretty great at Coda. But getting back to Dubai, it's always a pretty good race. However, it's starting to feel more like a GT only race every year. The same thing is happening to sadly Bathurst. Yeah. The proliferation of GT3 cars is it's making Dubai less special, which is kind of weird to say, but yeah. Kind of true in a way. Because we have... what do we have here? 20? Yeah, 20 GT3 cars, I think. On the entry list here for Dubai. If I do this and open it... we have... Okay, no, it doesn't want to break down the classes for me, so... It's a little arithmetic time here. We have 2 in Cup 1, we have 2 in... No, 1, 2, 3. 3 in A3. SP3 has 3... Wow, that's a lot more TCR cars than I thought. GT4 is probably the biggest class in the field other than the GT3 cars. There's 2 SP2 cars. The 991 Cup class for all Porsches has a couple. Well, actually more than a couple. SPX has a handful of cars there. There's at least 20 GT3 cars on this list. Of course, the usual suspects remain in the form of the Black Falcon Mercedes, that being the number 2, and the number 3 in A6 Pro. I think green and red cars again this year, as they were last year. Who knows? Really, those keep changing constantly. But the 2 will have the Abdulaziz Al Faisal, Hubert Haupt, Yelmer Berman, Saud Al Faisal. The 3 will have Lucas Stolz, Khalid Al Kabesi, 1 Jerome Bleekmolen, Ben Keating, and Manuel Metzger. So that'll be the cars to look out for there. We have the WRT Audi for Mohammed Saud Faud Al Saud. Not a mouthful, that name at all. Michael Vergers, Christopher Mies, and Dries Vanthor. So that's a factory Audi there. The number 9 for BWT Muka Motorsport. That's also a factory Audi. The lone Ferrari in the race is the 11 for Scuderia Praha, which also coincidentally has a Ferrari factory driver in it. So there's going to be that. KCMG has the return of Nissan to Dubai with the 23 and the 35. With some pretty stellar drivers there, actually.
Ollie Jarvis.
Yeah, we have Jarvis in the 23. Alexandre Imperatore. But that's not the exciting lineup. The exciting lineup is in the 35 for KCMG. And that has both Katsumasa Chiyo and Studio Matsuda in it. So that's probably going to be the quicker of the two KCMG cars. Alongside Josh Burden, who is a regular KCMG driver, and Sean Thong, who is also a regular KCMG driver. And those are both brand new cars for them, because those are 2018 spec?
Yeah, 2018 was the new one.
I'm trying to remember if the new car was 2018 or 19, to be honest, but I guess it was 2018. We also have, of course, Penta's favorite team, the 63 for Grasser Racing. And, of course, the usual suspects are here as well, that being Marco Bottolotti, Christian Engelhardt, Rolf Aneiken, and Mark Aneiken. So, I don't know if that's going to be in the green or in the green and orange. So, there's that. Hopefully it's just properly green and not green and orange, because that's kind of... That look is still just weird to me, actually.
Yeah.
We have brand new Audi 4 car collection. Christopher Hasse and Rick Breukers in that lineup, alongside Frederick Vervisch and Dimitri Parhofer. That's an A6 Pro, the 91 for Hairberth Motorsport. Always the lone Porsche, pretty much, in the field. But because it's a white Porsche, will be in at the end, because all plain and boring Porsches always survive somehow. I don't know how that works, but it does. That, of course, being the standard lineup of Daniel Alleman, Ralph Bon, and the Runauer brothers of Robert and Alfred. So Nick Damon will have fun there trying to find out which one is which. We also have the other 2019 Audi for Attempto, the 99. That's the last Pro car in A6. The first AM car comes for the Hofer Racing team and their Mercedes-AMG GT3 for Michael Kroll, Chantal Prinz, Alexander Prinz, Kenneth Heyer, and Christian Frankenhout. Of course, this being, I think, the Bling Sadies, as I call it, because it's got the gold, usually has the gold Mercedes star on it, so that's why. Target Racing's a new eye. It's got a factory Lamborghini driver. My bad, wrong Italian manufacturer there.
I don't think they lend one of their drivers to Lamborghini somehow.
Something tells me no. Yeah, maybe someone else, but not Lamborghini and a Ferrari. Dennis Lind, of course, being the factory driver there, so that should be an interesting car for A6 AM. The lovely Corvette is back for the V8 Racing guys in A6 AM, the 18. And of course, that means we can start this debate early and going, which chassis is this one? Is this one the GT1 or is this one the GT2? Yeah. Because I have no idea which one this is. I assume it's an old GT2 car, but who knows, really?
It's the GT 1.5, actually.
No, but a proper GT2, not SRO GT2. Not the non-existent class because no cars exist yet class. But that's the standard Dutch lineup there, besides Findlay Hutchinson. That's an interesting there. remember what he usually drives Janettas, I think, Hutchinson.
Yes.
That's why I recognize that name. We had the 19. That's
a bit of a change from a Ginetta to a Chevy Corvette.
Well, he's doing British GT this year, isn't he? In an Audi?
I don't know, maybe.
So I remember seeing his name. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it was. It was that nice blue Phoenix Audi, I think. Somewhere he's running that. We have a Golf Porsche. That's a new entry, actually. Brand new car for GPX Racing. This, of course, being the old GP Extreme team. And this is an A6M, the number 24. So this should actually be a pretty fast car with Frederic Fatien, Jean-Pierre Valentini. That's a new name for me. I've never heard him before. Jordan Groger, he's a standard name in Creventic Racing, as is Nicky Pastorelli. Stuart Hall is another name that's familiar to me somehow. Nicky Pastorelli's in 2 cars. To 2 different teams. He's also in the V8 racing car, so I don't know how that's going to work. I hope they're in the same garage, otherwise that's going to be a bit odd and difficult to do. I'm like, okay, driver change. I'm in the 18, and now I'm in the 24. Run halfway across the pit lane. We have the next one. Skip that one. Well, actually, no, that's HCP Motorsport. This being Alexandra Krachinawa, Martin Conrad, so the Austrians there in the German car. The ever so popular Bernd Schneider, so this car should automatically probably win because it's got Bernd Schneider in it. Indy Doncha and Bryce Bossy in that car. Santalock have an Audi here, brand new Audi for 2019. The 26 for them. The second car collection Audi, the 33. Not really anyone in that notable lineup. Another car collection Audi, this time the 34. The standard lineup for them there, with the Dr. Kirchhoff himself there. The other Attempto Audi is the 66 and A6M. This has Patrick Kuhala, Adrian Amstutz, Kelvin van der Linde, Mattia Drudi, and Stanislav Minsky. Sadly, the only van der Linde in the field. So now we can't have a van der Linde battle on hand here. CP Racing's a new one to my eye. I assume CP standing for Charlie Putnam, or Charlie Espinlaub and Charles Putman, yeah, for that car. That being an AMG GT3 for also Joe Foster and Shane Lewis, the All-American lineup there. So they're sneaky M's. They should be right at the top. Team Porsche Center Hong Kong, and a really nicely liveried number 92 car for Frank Yu, Jonathan Hui, Antares Au, and Kevin Winkin C. So, I don't know about that car. That's a mystery to me. Also a mystery is the fact that there's a 3Y technology car entered. With nobody on it.
With no drivers. Maybe that's Robo Race's first entry into an actual
Well,
team.
I mean, it does say technology in its name. Pretty bold of them to enter a 24-hour race, yeah. Although their car actually is at a disadvantage because it also doesn't have any wheels in the picture.
No, it's a hover car. Yeah.
Oh, see, now I know why it's called technology. It's autonomous.
It's like their
vanity.
garage. It's like their Garage 59 entry.
Very low-key Garage 59, yeah. Except in this case, it's Garage 40, yeah. Actually, no, is it Garage 40? No, it's 2C, actually.
2C.
Yeah. Actually, hang on, which one?
Whatever that means.
That's what pit box they're in.
Yeah, I know, but...
They, oddly enough, give you the assigned ones.
Whatever that means in relation to where it is on track, on the pit lane.
Actually, I can't answer my own question I had in relation to the Nicky Pastorelli situation. His life is going to be a bit difficult. Because the V8 car is in 1A and the GPX car is in 12A. So he's got a bit of a walk. Shouldn't be a bit of a problem for him. He's a fit guy. So
Yeah.
We have the Vortexes back, nicely enough. Those that don't remember the Vortexes, they're a strangely Creventic car. Yeah. It's an odd-looking thing, but they sound great. I don't know what engine they have in them, but they sound fantastic. I think it's a LS3, isn't it? Or something along those lines? In that Vortex?
I've got no idea.
Maybe, I don't know. Could be the engine of their own design, which would explain why they're constantly in the garage fixing it. Oh, wait, no, I'm confusing that with the other French car. Never mind. Oddly enough, the Lamera Cup cars aren't entered on here, so that's odd. Yeah. It's kind of sad about that, considering the drama we saw at them with Coda, so that was quite fun. And also sad. They are the first SPX car. We have a Lippert Motorsport Super Trofeo Evo, so that'll pique the interest of Dan there, because there's a Lamborghini here. Core Oyster Racing has their oh-so-lovely M3 entered, so that's another car to please Darian. That being the 717. We also have a Mark Cars entered vehicle here for VDS Racing Adventures, and this being the second generation Mark car. So that means it's a Mustang-bodied car. So that's always nice. The usual lineup there. Now we get to a random couple of Porsches entered in SPX, so I don't know what that means. That means they're modified somehow. That makes them different from the 991 Cup cars.
Yeah, I guess so.
The 778 for Speed Lover and the 990. The 990 being all British. I mean,
Brazilian.
All Brazilian. Wrong B word.
Wrong.
We have, of course, we're just going to skip the Porsche land because, it's Porsche land. There's no reason to talk about them. Plus, there's too many. And I don't know any of the drivers in any of the cars as well. Let's see. They're all entered by the same team, really, as well. It's either Porsche Lorient Racing or it's MRS GT Racing. Doing their best to fill up that entire grid, apparently. So, we get to SP2, which is only 2 cars entered here. Both of them, oddly enough, are KTM Crossbows. So, and both from Ryder Engineering. The 246 having Adam Gallas, Jan Krebeck, Nikolai Elgahanin, Benjamin Mazatis, Dean Koutsimides, Glenn Wood. Matthias Besch is entered in one of the second cars, so that's interesting. Actually, no, that's the lineup that's going to be at Bathurst, so there's that. GT4 has a slew of BMWs and Mercedes entered. The first one there is the 50 of Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsports. Martin Kroll and Michael Schrey entered there. Let's see here. 405 for ERC Sport. I don't know them. MRS GT Racing has yet another car. That makes about 7, I think.
I think they're hedging their bets.
If they can't win one class, they'll win all the classes. Yeah. So interestingly, an M4 GT4 for them. Century Motorsport has an M4 GT4 here. Actually, 2 of them.
2 of them.
Yeah. They're a British GT team, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's why I recognize their name. Okay, so those are the. Yeah, see, that's why I recognize Mark Farmer in one of the lineups for the second car there. I think that's just their entire British GT team, actually.
Yeah, pretty much.
Coming over, so that's good for them. Hopefully they do well there. Here we come to the problem child of the GT4 class, that being, of course, the Ginetta.
I will not have you abuse the Ginetta, please. Thank you.
Well, I mean, a Creventic race with the Ginetta in it usually has either one of two things happening. One, it's either in a ball of flames, or two, it's in a ball of wrecked parts.
Ginetta is a fine example of British engineering.
So it'll be on fire, or the electrics will fail.
Yes.
Right. Interesting definition of fine engineering, yeah. But there's that one for Optimum, the ever-so-plucky optimists there with their Ginetta. Fox Motorsport have a Audi. RHC Jorgensen Strom is a name that seems familiar to me for some reason, but I don't know from where, actually.
No idea.
They're in PwC, that's why. They also run at Bathurst. That's why that name seems familiar to me. Yep. Sorg Rensport, that's a new entry here. M4 GT4 for them. They're usually in VLN. So that's interesting. Sicily Motorsport, that's another British GT team, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, I think.
Yeah. Interesting. We must have caught the same boat over with the other guys. Oh, what's the 3Y technology guys like entering cars, but not entering any drivers.
They don't want any drivers. They're just going to get the technicians, the engineers to drive it.
Oh, that's nice of them. Have a nice track day for the guys that work on the cars.
I mean, they deserve it. Probably, I don't know.
Let's see here. 468, 469 for those guys. So they'll be one of the lineups to be announced at race day, probably. Such as the way with Creventic races.
Maybe like 2 minutes before the race goes green, they'll put their first driver in.
Yeah, TBA will be replaced with TBC or someone. TBA, TBD. You know, those TBs.
Yeah.
The Dragon Racing entered... See, that actually annoys me, because the car is entered as the 488, but it's not a 488. So, this being, of course, a Mercedes-AMG GT4, with one Rob Barf, Phil Quaife in that car, so that should be interesting on pace. And, of course, we come to the slew of TCR cars, which will predominantly be, Audis, probably. If we're honest. Actually, no, I'm lying. It's actually a mix of cars.
Yeah. I think there's probably more Audis than anything else, but it's not like they've got the majority.
Yes. And because this being TCR and they have a varied transmission choice, you're going to see the odd random letter alphabet behind the car. Such as the fact that we have a Cupra TCR and also a Seat Leon TCR with V2 DSG. Yeah. I think SEQ being sequential, if I'm right.
Yes, it is sequential.
DSG for being DSG.
Yeah.
Doppel, whatever the DSG is. Yeah.
Quality German there.
Well, whatever the German word is for that weird gearbox. Yeah. There's a Honda Civic from KCMG here. That's interesting. Paul Ip, the team owner there, running in that Civic. So that's keep an eye out on that one. That'll be interesting to see. Of course, the Gulf TCRs there. Baz Koten Racing doing their best 3Y technology impression here. No one answered in that one.
Oh.
Drop my phone.
Oh, that's what that was. Zengo Motorsport. They're a name that seems familiar to me from touring cars. They're a Honda factory team, aren't they? I seem to think.
Well, they're running a Cooper, so I hope not.
So I think I remember their name from. I don't remember touring cars all that well, so I can't possibly tell you.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Thank you for that one, Pensa. DSG is direct shift gearbox. And I'm not even going to pronounce the German, so yeah. Because I'm not Rob. I have decency. Team Dynamics with WRC Developments. Does that mean this is going to be a rally car?
They're going to go off track.
Well, I mean, it is an Audi, so that must mean they have the Quattro all-wheel drive engaged on that one.
Yeah.
Might be helpful because they're in Dubai, but yeah. Actually, no, I don't think Dubai has any sand traps, actually, so never mind. That's disappointing.
They'll just do a different circuit out in the desert.
You'd actually be rallying around the track.
Yeah. That would be their lap.
Yeah. The Joker lap. They come back on track. They put dirt everywhere. There's a second Vortex V8 entered in SP3. That's, interestingly enough, a Scirocco. A very much dead car. So we have a... See, I don't understand SP2, SP3, A3, whatever these classes are. They're makes no sense to me, because this is a GT4 Porsche, but it's entered in SP3, so I have no idea what that means.
I don't know. I guess because that's an all-AM driver lineup, whereas the GT4s were at least semi-pro and AM. So I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know Creventic rules, so I can't possibly confirm or deny this.
I don't think even Creventic know Creventic rules.
Oh, that's true. They make it up as they go along. Also in SP3, so we can actually have a proper podium here because there's 3 cars. Which is where the CWS engineering generator will probably finish. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
right at the back. That's the one that's usually on fire as well, so hopefully they actually finish with all their panels on.
Nah, it's weight loss. That's what that's about.
Oh, right, okay. How do you explain the flames then? Yeah.
The go faster flames. It's a jet engine.
Oh, I see. That plucky British engineering coming into play again. Yeah.
Yeah, they've actually got Rolls Royce to design the engine.
That makes perfect sense now. Yes. We have 3 A3s, so another proper podium here. An E46 M3 for GNR Motorsport. We have 2 Lotus PB Racing entries. The all-Italian cars, whatever a Lotus Elise Cup PBR is. I don't know what that means.
I presume it's based on a Lotus Elise, and then they've put a cup in it. I don't know. Maybe a cup of tea? I don't know. Something like that.
They've got some pretty good liveries on it, though. They have a proper green and yellow on there and a gold leaf Lotus color, so at least the livery's right. I don't know if the cars will be any faster, but they look good. That's the first battle to be won. And, of course, we finish out with the 2 Cup 1 entered cars, which are both BMW M235i Racing Cups. One coming from a very strangely named team. Fun-M Motorsport from Germany. So they'll be having fun, I guess.
With M.
With M Motorsport. Yeah.
Fun'em.
They'll have fun with M. Get it? Fun with M?
No.
No.
Yeah. And we have, of course, the 840 for Duo Racing. Spelling Duo wrong there. French lineup there for the Luxembourgian driver of Jean-Marie Dumont. So, yeah. That is the entry for Dubai. Not as many touring cars as I'd like to see, but it's just not the same without those little Clios getting in the way, cocking a wheel as they run around. Also crashing into GT3 cars, because that's always kind of funny. So that's that entry. I think that's all we have to discuss. Calendars, however, is Dubai, as I mentioned. That's the major race happening. Of course, the Dakar Rally started just yesterday, so that'll run for about another week or so.
You got Formula E as well, Marrakesh.
Oh, right. Yeah, because they have a thing about timing their races to clash with actual events.
Yeah.
Because in 3 weeks' time, they'll be running while the Rolex 24 is on. Because they think that's a way to gain an audience, I guess.
Hmm.
And I know which one I'll be watching in both instances, and it's not Formula E.
I know which one I'll be watching because I'll actually be at the damn thing. Or, excuse me, at just the thing.
No, damn is fine.
I didn't know if this was a PG podcast or not.
Well, I mean, it's not a swear word, so it's fine.
This is also a podcast.
And Rob has also said worse things.
Yeah.
But with that note, on our ending with calendars, we will see you guys.
Oh, hang on. There's also the Asian One series, if anyone cares.
Oh, right. It's from Thailand, so no one actually cares.
Thailand.
Yeah, I hate that track so much. It's so boring. And yet everyone goes there for some reason. I don't understand.
It's also at 5 in the morning for me, so no thanks.
Well, it's also on during Dubai, which is annoying. So
yes.
I can only watch so many things without my brain just kind of like, there's too many things happening. Especially 2 endurance races, because that's just inconvenient and also confusing to keep track of what strategy's happening where. But yeah, that's just how my mind works. Yeah, we'll end now because we're running out of calendar news, and also there's running out of things to say. So,
yeah.
With that in mind, this has been your first show for the year, and Pigeon will hopefully be at full strength next week.
Yes.
Rob will hopefully be
here.
Not in London and here.
Hopefully not on the train.
And hopefully not on the train. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.